from the campus of the University of Alabama. Live sports from Alabama's sports team. This is WVUA Sports.
You know, there isn't really a good way to lose, but Auburn found a pretty horrible one last night. Tied it with Ole Miss in the 13th inning, attempting to intentionally walk Ole Miss's Austin Anderson. Instead, it's a walk-off three-run home run. That's not exactly the way you draw it up. Look at that. Bam! Unbelievable. Tough when that ends like that. Your Alabama baseball highlights in just a moment, but first, the Crimson Tide football team hit Bryant-Denny Stadium for the first time for their first spring scrimmage in 2014. A beautiful day to do it. The Tide went through 125 plays. Blake Sims had a great showing as the #1 quarterback, 16 of 23, 227 yards, 2 scores, both to Amari Cooper, who put up PlayStation numbers, 10 catches, 190 yards for him. Kenyon Drake led all running backs with 60 yards and a score. Landon Collins blocked a field goal on defense. Meanwhile, Coach Saban was singling out those signal callers.
Blake has had a really good spring and has taken some command. Cooper Bateman has made a lot of improvement, done a nice job. Alex still, competing. So, those 3 guys have sort of emerged as the 3 guys that look like they're most ready to play.
There was a little bit of bad news. Cornerback Eddie Jackson left the scrimmage with a knee injury. He's going to have an MRI on Sunday. Reuben Foster also dinged up with a stinger, and DeAndrew White is going to be held out for the remainder of spring practice after a toe injury. Now, here are some of those notable stats that the Alabama Athletic Department gave us. They're in the United States, so that's okay. Trader Priest led the way for the defense. Alabama is back on the field on Monday. Stillman College also held their S-Day spring game today. It may be April, but Kevontae Turk, he is in mid-season form. Watch him, the concentration. Picking off the pass. That means points because of crazy spring game scoring. The white team defeats the blue team 40-34. Doubleheader baseball in Aggieland. Bama falls in game 1, but game 2 is where we're going to give you the important highlights because it came down to Hunter Webb's bat in the 9th. He drives home Chance Vincent to give Bama the lead. They go on to win the game 6-4, taking the series as well. Tide softball run-ruled Arkansas in game 1. They also had a doubleheader. Game 2, the scoring wasn't as plentiful, but this one was important. Hogs can't handle Jaden Spencer's shot. Haley McClenny scores. 1-run lead in the 7th. Jackie Trena closes the door. Bama sweeps the series and takes home a 4-3 win. The University of Alabama has hosted the gymnastics championships 3 times. All 3 times they've won national titles. Now this year, the championships are in Birmingham, maybe a good omen. But tonight, the championships were going to be in the actual regional championships were in Seattle. And that's where Bama needed to finish either 1 or 2, and they're celebrating. So that means they did. They took a solid performance on the vault by DeAndre Milner and Katie Bailey, followed by a couple 9.9s on the beam. They win the regional easily. Here's Coach Patterson after the meet.
Well, I think, first of all, just advancing to the finals of the NCAA championship never gets old. And, I think there's a lot of pressure surrounding it and certainly a long travel for these ladies. So I think for us to come out here and do our job, win this regional, and move on back to Birmingham, that has been the goal from day 1 of the beginning of the start of school.
The Tide takes home their 29th regional championship. That is an NCAA record. It was also Sarah Patterson's 1,000th career victory. The championships are April 18th through the 20th at the BJCC. You could practically hear the excitement from the SEC offices in Birmingham at the thought that Monday night, with Florida and Kentucky wins, there could be an all-SEC championship game. On paper, many people predicted that. But, Tori, they don't play the games on paper. Florida came out against UConn like they were shot out of a gator cannon, the most dangerous weapon ever. Patrick Young and his glistening biceps says, get that out of here. Florida led by 12. But then they started doing non-Florida things like turning the ball over. Scotty Wilbekin does it there. UConn gets 20 from DeAndre Daniels to end the Gators' run and their 30-game win streak. As for Kentucky in the nightcap, who is UConn going to play? Well, right now they are tied up with Wisconsin. We will know that tomorrow, so tune in to see Lee Smith, and he will tell us who's going to play in that championship game. I can go ahead and tell you what I did in my bracket was this. I threw it away because
bet
Florida was my national
They're
championship.
gone.
Well, I told you who was mine. Who was yours?
Well, I really was hoping Florida was going to win, so obviously we're not doing so well.
No, we're not.
But we're going to do better, so don't go anywhere. When we come back, more news. Stay with us.